Hello and welcome to first Christmas special workshop of 2025. And today I'm going to teach you a German recipe that is Eggless Stollen bread. Stollen bread is made with yeast, but it has buttery, dense texture to it. It is filled with nuts, berries, and spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. Many recipes also put a marzipan log between this loaf. So today we will learn recipe in three different parts. First, we will learn how to make homemade marzipan. Second, we will prepare the mixture of dry fruits and berries. And third, we will bind the dough for our stollen bread and then assemble it and bake it. So these three parts are divided in one single workshop. So now, before we dive into our today's recipe, if you are looking to level up your baking game, turn simple ingredients into stunning dessert, then you have come to the right place because that's exactly what I do. And I upload once a week. So if this sounds delicious to you, then don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our weekly uploads. Now, let's dive into the recipe. Before we dive into the recipe of eggless stollen bread, let me show you how to make marzipan log which we will put inside of the stollen bread. I will show you how to make marzipan from the scratch, that is from the almonds directly. So here I have taken 40 grams of almonds, and to add sweetness to it I have taken 30 grams of powdered sugar. If you have almond flour ready, you can directly start the process by mixing almond flour and powdered sugar together and to form a paste. But if you don't have almond flour with you, you can follow this procedure and make marzipan at your home with just almond and powdered sugar. So first of all, turn on the heat and add water in your saucepan. Now we will let the water boil. Once water comes to a boil, we will add our almonds into it and let it boil for 1 minute. Once your water starts to boil, add your almonds into it and we will let it sit in the boiling water for 1 minute. And after 1 minute, we will strain the hot water from it and pat our almonds dry until we are easily able to remove the skin of it. So we'll let it boil for 1 minute on the same boiling temperature. Almonds have been boiled properly. Now what we will do is strain the excess water and let it dry with the help of paper towel, or you can use napkin as well. Now to dry this almonds, you can use paper towel, tissue paper, or a napkin. Just open it up, put your almonds in between, and then you can just pat them dry. Because we don't want excess amount of water in our almonds. So it's necessary to dry our all the almonds properly. This will also help reduce the temperature of the almonds, so you can easily peel them off and you can easily remove the skin of it. Now here you can see our almond. Now I will just pinch it and but our almond will be easily peeled. In same way, we will peel all the almonds. Again, sorry, it's slippery, but you can see it gets very easy to peel the almonds. Once your almonds are peeled, what you need to do is let it sit at the room temperature. So until it comes to the room temperature, and then you can put it for the roasting. Now, how you can roast it? You can sun dry it, or you can put it in the oven for around 4 to 5 minutes at 160 degrees Celsius. So it gets completely dry and it has little bit roasted taste as well. Or else you can just completely dry it under the sun where the moisture is all dried up and you will have dry almonds ready. Then you can move to the next steps where you will be making marzipan. Now I will let it dry under the sun for around 15 to 30 minutes, and then we will start with the next procedure. Once all the almonds are dried, take it in a small grinder, and what we will do is we will just put 1 or 2 spoon of powdered sugar in it and churn it until all the almond turns into flour, because we want fine granulated powder of almonds as well. But we need to make sure that almond stays dry and does not release its oil. So we will add sugar also, so it will help in just getting the flour of it. Once we will churn it, then we will add all the other sugar and start making paste of it. So let's grind it now. Now our whole almond flour and sugar mixture would be ready, and it would be in a very minute texture. You can see it has been ground to very proper smooth texture. If you see some lumps, what you can do is take this out and then just put again lumps, because if you keep churning this, there are high chances that the powder will start releasing oil before this gets churned out. So we will save it in another bowl and then churn all the other chunks which are left, and then we will start with our next step. Our almond flour is ready now. You can see how fine this is. We want this type of consistency, because when you will make the marzipan, you want it to be smooth and not grainy. So this is the consistency or texture which we are looking for the almond flour. Now what we will do is we will mix our powdered sugar in it. First, just mix both the ingredients together until well combined. Then we will slowly start adding small amount of water in it and make a paste of it. Now, depending upon the requirement, you can also use milk for the recipe. But if you are going to directly use it, you can use milk and make the paste. But if you are going to store it for the longer period of time, it is recommended that you use water in place of the milk. Also, you can add different flavors or almond essence to this to enhance the taste of this marzipan. Now you can see it has been properly mixed and ready. So we will slowly start adding small amount of water. So now let's start to add small amount of water and make paste of it. Now make sure you don't add too much amount of water in the beginning, because if you add it, then your paste will be too loose and you won't be able to shape it or roll it properly. So add small, mix it, and then if required, you can add more. Now here, as I mentioned, if you're using milk, it also works well. It will give this same texture and smoothness, but it will also feel a little bit richer in taste. So that's why people prefer milk sometimes to make this paste when they are making this for the stollen, or they are going to directly use it as a some structure or filling in the cake. So that's why milk is also used. Now here it was in a proper amount that which we needed to make the paste. Now what we can do is, to make it more smooth, we can take this into a bowl or a on direct table and then put small amount of sugar and roll it with it. So this will have more smooth texture, and it will have the grainy texture will be completely gone, and you will have that smooth marzipan paste. So again, you can use this as the filling for the stollen bread, or you can use it as a decoration. You can add colors, essence, and use it as a decoration for your cakes and make toppers from it as well. So now our this paste is ready. Now I'm just going to let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes so it gets absorbed and gets a little bit set. Then we will take it out on the table and see the texture. If it is smooth enough, then we will not need it. If required, we will add small amount of sugar and then roll it and seal it. Our marzipan has been sitting at the room temperature for around 10 to 15 minutes, and you can see it has dried out properly. So when you will be kneading it, you can easily mix it and shape it. It is smooth texture and very easy to give shape and fold. So now you don't need to roll it with the powdered sugar. But if you find it a little bit grainy, you can always use powdered sugar, rub it in between, and then roll it properly. So now we will keep this aside and start with the recipe of our stollen bread. Our marzipan is ready. Now we will start with making our fruit mix for our stollen bread. So here I have taken 30 grams of slithered almonds. Then I have taken 30 grams of tutti frutti, 20 grams or 25 grams of green raisins, 25 grams of black raisins, 30 grams of cherries, and here I have taken 50 ml of orange juice, and I will be also adding zest of orange and lemon. So let's make everything in one bowl, and then we will let it sit for some time until we prepare our dough for our stollen bread. So first take almonds, then raisins, green raisins, tutti frutti, cherry. Then I'm just gonna add some zest of lemon, and some zest of orange. After you have zest added, it's time to add our oranges. Now we will not soak it like with too much of the syrups or too much of the juices. We just want them to soak and absorb it, so it would be in a lesser quantity compared to what we do for the plum cake. So just add it, mix it well with the spoon, so everything is covered with the orange juice. Now we will keep this aside and start preparing our stollen bread dough. By now we have prepared marzipan, and we have also soaked our berries and nuts for the stollen bread. Now let's start with the dough. The very first ingredient which I will be using for our stollen bread, that is all-purpose flour. Here I have taken 200 grams of all-purpose flour, and as it is bread, we will be using active dry yeast, 3.5 grams of active dry yeast. Then next ingredient which I will be using is 30 grams of sugar, then 2.5 grams of salt, and I will be using ground cinnamon. I will be using it half teaspoon, and I will use ground nutmeg, which I will directly sprinkle it on the flour. And then we have our warm milk over here, which will be used to knead our dough and also to activate our yeast. Then here I have taken unsalted butter, 50 grams of unsalted butter. I just forgot to tell you that here I have taken 110 ml of milk. You can adjust the quantity depending upon your flour. If it requires more hydration, then you can increase the amount of milk by 10 to 20 ml, or you can reduce it by 10 to 20 ml. So when we will start, we will not pour whole milk into the dough. We will slowly keep adding and keep kneading our dough. Then here I have vanilla extract to round up all the flavors. So before we start with the binding of dough, let's just put yeast for the activation. So I will take the same warm milk, put it in a bowl, add small amount of powdered sugar on which our yeast will feed, and then we will use same yeast mixture to bind our dough. So I will just let it sit for few minutes at the room temperature, and then we will start kneading the dough with the same mixture. Just make sure it mixes well. You don't need to mix it with the spoon or whisk. Just swirl it and put it for 4 to 5 minutes until our yeast gets activated. Let's mix all of our dry ingredients in a bigger bowl. So let's take a bowl, put our all-purpose flour. Always sift your flour so there is no lumps in it. Then add powdered sugar, Then we will add our salt. Our spices, ground cinnamon and nutmeg. We will just mix all our dry ingredients together. Then we will slowly add our yeast mixture. As you can see, it has been activated. Now we can just simply mix it in. Make sure nothing is left in the bowl, so your yeast content doesn't get reduced and your dough does not deflate or have less aeration. Then just add small amount of vanilla extract and then small amount of milk to start kneading our dough. I always enjoy binding doughs with my hand whenever I'm making it for myself. But if you are making it for the professional use, I would always recommend to use gloves, or if you are using machines, then make sure that you are not directly touching it. The whole point is just to knead your dough. With the machines, you will just need to check the timer and see if the whole dough is properly elastic and has come together. If you are doing it with your hands, you will be able to feel it and check the gluten as well. In this one, we will be not aiming for too much of gluten, but still basic gluten, which means if you see the it's started to be elastic and stretchy, dough has started to be stretchy, then you will know that you are almost there. Because in stolen bread, we are also adding so much of dry fruits and berries and nuts and everything. So we don't want it to be too much of a bready, but not too much of cakey as well. So we will be just taking a middle ground from bread and cake. Our dough has started to come together. Now we will take it on the table and knead it for around 5 to 6 minutes and then incorporate butter. Now our dough is properly kneaded. You can see our smooth and soft dough is ready. Now what we will do is we will incorporate butter in it. So spread it little bit. You can see how dough is stretchy. And then take butter and apply it on it and then again knead it. If butter starts to come out, don't worry. If you just need to keep kneading it and it will be completely incorporated in it. Now our whole butter is incorporated properly. You can see how soft and smooth this dough has become. Now one last time we will again spread it to fold in our soaked dry fruit and berries. You can see how our dry fruits and berries have soaked the orange juice. We'll just fold it and then put it for our first fermentation. Now don't knead it at this stage, just fold it evenly so it gets incorporated, yet it doesn't gets kneaded too much because it has butter already in it. So we don't want to knead it more and disturb the gluten formation. So just until everything is well combined. Now as you can see, our all dry fruits have been mixed up properly into the dough. Now this dough will be like this only because of the added dry fruit and juice. So don't worry if your final dough looks like this and sticky, because that's what we are looking forward to. So now you will just take the ball, put it in it and cover it with a wet towel and let it sit for around 1 hour or 1.5 hours. So now our stolen bread has been resting for 1.5 hour and it has rise to half of its quantity, because this bread is not like a proper kneaded bread, so it only rises to half of its size. So it has rise till that capacity. So now what we will do is we will punch it down, not completely like a regular bread. We will just flatten it out, put our marzipan roll in between, and put it for our second fermentation. But before I start using the dough, first let's take our marzipan and make a roll of it. Think we will just need this much amount of marzipan. Once properly rolled, keep this aside and we will transfer our dough. You can see slowly it gets shrink little bit. So that's how you know that your dough is ready. Now take this out just with very light hands, mix it. Put everything together. Now take a baking tray with silicone mat and transfer the dough in it. Now here what you want to do is put all together and spread it into a rectangle shape, almost 1 inch thick. So spread it with your hands, make a rectangle shape of it. Then once you have made the rectangle shape, what you need to do is take a small rolling pin, or you can take the back part of the spatula, just put it in the center and then press it on the other side. Make sure that the dough doesn't stretch too much by sticking to it, but press it properly. So what we are trying to do over here is, and we want to make the incision and I want to make the standard design of our stolen bread. If your bread dough is sticking, then you can just coat the pin with the flour. Press it and then push it on the one side. So there will be a proper incision made. And then in that incision, you want to place your marzipan roll. If you think it's little short, you have already extra marzipan. You can just put it again together and then roll it. Now make sure it's not too big or too thick, or else when you will be giving it a shape, it won't come out properly. It will not have that proper standard German style stolen bread look. So now you can see it has proper length. Now what you need to do is you just need to pick it from the one side and put it on the other side. And then you just need to stick the edges, and to give that standard design hump, just press it with the rolling pin. Make sure all the sides are sealed properly and there is a proper hump with our marzipan roll in it. And now our stolen bread is ready for our second fermentation. Now again, it's bread with all the dry fruits and nuts. It will not rise into the double quantity. So you will just need to let it rest for another 45 to 50 minutes and then you can put it for the baking. Second fermentation of stolen bread has also happened. You can see it has puffed up little bit, and that's what we are exactly looking for, because this bread will not get doubled in size compared to what we do for the regular breads because of the berries and dry fruits in it. And this is how actually Stollen bread is made in Germany. So we will directly put this for baking now. I will be baking it at 180 degrees Celsius for around 25 to 30 minutes. We will be not putting it in the mold or anything else. We will just put it on this silicone mat and let it get baked, and then we will cover it with a melted butter and powdered sugar. Our stolen bread has been baked at 180 degrees Celsius. It took around 30 minutes to get baked and it has been sitting at room temperature. Now it has completely cooled down. So what we will do is, to give the final touch, we will use melted butter. We will apply this melted butter on whole bread loaf. To make it exactly like the German style, we have to completely coat it with butter, and then we will sprinkle powdered sugar or icing sugar on top of it. And it will be in the standard authentic recipe. It's done in the excess way that it should feel like a thick layer of snow on the bread. So I will be using this sprinkler which I showed you in the Amazon live. So you can get this one and easily just start sprinkling sugar. Now at first, when you have applied butter, there might be a very thin layer of sugar which gets melted, but you need to keep on sprinkling until you see a white layer of sugar on top of the bread. Then you can reduce the amount of sugar depending upon your need or how you want to sell it or consume it at home. But this is the standard way. Now we will transfer it into a serving tray and we will cut it. We will be cutting thin slices from it. You can see it has been very juicy bread with a marzipan roll in between and dry fruits and berries. I hope you have enjoyed today's German special stolen bread recipe, and I'm sure you will try it for your Christmas celebrations. I will see you in next Christmas special workshop. Until then, keep learning, keep baking, be crazy.